Welcome to Joy Connection, a time where we connect together in conversation to connect you with joy. And today I have the honor and privilege of having a conversation with Levance and Colleen Dotson, the founders of Woo Your Boo. Wouldn't you like to hear more about that? We'll be right back.
It is my strength. I choose joy within a win. I choose joy.
I am so glad to be here today with Levance and Colleen. Levance and Colleen, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thanks so much for having
We're
us.
glad
This
to
is
be
so
here.
much fun.
Well, I'm excited about what this conversation is going to be
Yes.
about. Because please, instead of me telling people, why don't you tell people what Woo Your Boo is all about?
You look at me, I look at
Well,
you.
yeah, why don't you, where'd the idea come from first?
Okay.
No?
We
Yeah.
can start there.
Shoot.
All right, so Woo Your Boo actually started because of a challenge Colleen gave me. I would say. She set me down one day
Yeah.
and she was like, "You don't woo me." And I was offended and inspired at the same time. Offended because I thought I was doing a good job wooing her by buying her flowers and going to the occasional dinner and, movies once in a while. But what she was saying was I didn't do the things that make her feel loved, to make her feel special. And at that moment, I thought to myself, man, I wish there was an app out there to kind of teach me how to do this, because up until that point in my life, at 25 years old, I think I was, no one actually showed me how to woo a woman, at least long term.
Right.
And it's like, hey, this is how you get her, but this is how, what do you do to actually keep her having a long term, thriving relationship? And so that was the challenge, and the idea kind of set for a while, but the spirit of wooing was always in my mind.
I absolutely love that. I love how it is that God turns a challenge in our lives into something that brings great joy and lesson and future and purpose.
Yes.
So today we are here to talk about purpose in marriage, really, because out of that challenge, this was about your relationship. And I think that
100%.
so many people need to learn how to have purpose in their marriage and have joy in their marriage and have excitement in their marriage. So Colleen, just how is Levance doing at wooing you?
Like, significantly better. No, I'm kidding. No, but honestly, everything is, it's really good. I think one of the things we discovered was how to communicate with each other and really hear each other's hearts, desires, and to reciprocate in a way that they would understand and not the way that we would want. So I'm like a service person, so I'd be like, look at all the things I did for you. And he's like, I don't want any of those things. I want this thing. And I was like, oh, well, who wants that thing? This is so much better. Like, oh, am I trying to convince him to do it my way when it's his love? So, and I think the opposite was true, but I think we've grown a lot.
Significantly.
Life does that,
Grown
right?
more in love.
Yes, exactly.
100%.
And it's true. I definitely say 15 years later, we're way better than we were at the beginning.
100%.
You just need that experience.
That's how it should be.
So
Yeah.
there are challenges in marriage. I
Always.
mean, no relationship is perfect.
That's right.
Tell us how you infuse joy when you're going through a really challenging time.
Ooh.
Fusing joy.
I think sometimes infusion isn't something that you just do randomly. I think it's in the little habits you create every day. So when the storm comes, you already have kind of a buffer there. You kind of already, you filled up the tank enough so that you're not on empty when you
Yes.
get there. So
That's good.
You
I
got
don't
an
think there's
anchor
a-
or a storm shelter.
Exactly.
There
You
you go.
don't.
Yes.
There's nothing spontaneous you do in that moment.
Yes.
These are all the little things you've been doing because you knew this moment was going to come eventually.
Yes.
So there's things you do to kind of buffer you and get you ready to brace you down. You put the shutters up on the windows. You bunker down because you know it's going to happen. So I think it's more of the little things you do along the way, as opposed to one major thing. And it's kind of just checking in on each other regularly. We kind of know who's like, you're definitely at 20%, so I'll pick up the other, 80 or whatever, and I'm at like 10%, so you need to find 90 somewhere. Or we're just gonna struggle both here at like 10% and just be gracious enough to each
There you
other and
go.
be like, we both don't have it right now.
A season is a season, and
Yeah.
sometimes we go through that, that whole lie about marriage being 50-50.
Yes. it is.
That misconception, right?
Yeah.
We brought
It
that.
is not.
Yeah,
It is
that
not.
is absolutely a myth.
But one of the things that is not a myth is the fact that every single marriage needs to have some play in it.
100%.
Absolutely.
And this is
Every
what
single
your
one.
woo your boo is about. I mean,
Right.
you were saying to him, you don't woo me, but you took that challenge and didn't go, okay, I'm not giving her the warm fuzzies. But you took that challenge and put it into, but here's a way that I may give her the fuzzies, or here's a way to grow romance through play. Because really, woo your boo is about how do we teach other couples to play with one another,
And
to have
continue.
some fun. So tell us some more about that.
Yeah, and to continue to play as well. Like when you think about relationships, at the very beginning, it's fun, it's lighthearted. You're getting to know each other in that lightheartedness, that adventure type of way.
Yeah.
And then once you kind of settle into the relationship, that typically happens a year to 2 years later. That's when, and it's not that you're intentionally doing this, but you almost forget about the things that you did at the beginning. You know, you stop.
You were trying to catch her then, and you caught her.
And both sides, right? She's
Yeah.
trying to catch you, you're
Yeah.
trying to catch her,
Yeah.
and you're pretty much showing almost like the best of yourself. And then
Right.
once you settle in, you know, and I almost want to say you almost forget, and then that muscle kind of atrophies a bit.
Mm-hmm.
And then before you know it, you've got a mortgage, you have children, and then you look up and you say, man, we're not having fun like we used to.
Yeah.
You
And
know?
I think that's also another myth that, like, if we're in love, it'll be easy.
Easy, yeah.
Right.
And it was so easy in the beginning. It shouldn't be this hard now. Wait,
Right.
what? Like, I don't. That's
Yeah.
not true.
Yeah.
It's not meant to be easy. Like, the beginning is easy because you know nothing about each other at all, and you're both trying to get each other.
And that's the challenge.
Yes.
And that's the adventure.
Yes, so exactly.
Exactly.
And you didn't
Yeah.
have
That's
to
the
try
adventure,
because
right.
there could be some other girl trying to get him or some other guy trying to, you know, somebody else in the picture trying to make a move on that person. So you got to pull out all the stops to get them. And now you've got them and you're like, now what? Game's over.
And the game never is, because
But
if life is
exactly.
an adventure and marriage is an
Yep.
adventure,
Right.
you want to keep having a fun adventure. You don't want it to be a negative adventure.
That's right.
And so Woo Your Boo is all about making play intentional
Yes.
and
Exactly.
deliberate.
Exactly.
Give us some examples of how the game would go, or what it is that you want people to get out of playing this game in their marriages or in their relationships, dating, engaged, you know, long-term, married.
100%. So Woo Your Boo, the way we kind of have approached the market is kind of twofold. One is through an app that we're continually building on right now,
Yeah.
but also through a card game called Woo Your Boo Flirtatious.
Yes.
And so the whole spirit around Flirtatious is just to either continue or rekindle that flirtatious, adventurous spirit in your relationship,
Yeah.
right? Because we believe that, you know, sometimes a relationship is not going to be fun, but if you continue that building that spirit and rekindling it over and over
Yes.
again, now it becomes a habit in
Yes.
your relationship. And so the card game itself, it's witty, it's fun, it's provocative, and it could be as conservative or as risque as you want it to be. But the whole idea is to take you back to where you once were and to rekindle that flame, to keep that passion burning. And the beautiful thing about it is you can always return to it. So it has you have two decks. You have the question trivia deck, which are mixed with like very witty, kind of intellectual, fun, lighthearted questions and trivia and truth or dares. And then you have your flirt deck.
Okay.
And so how the game is played is you ask your boo a question. If your boo gets the answer wrong, then you have to pick up a flirt card.
Yeah.
And you have to do whatever the flirt card says.
That's true.
Have you guys played it?
Of course.
Yes.
I mean, you created the questions. Do you
course.
remember all the questions, or do some of them take you by surprise when you're playing it?
So we tried to make the game evergreen. So there are questions in there that you may remember, right? But there are things in there that can change depending on how you answer the question. Like for example, one of the questions is, what number am I thinking of?
Okay.
From 1 to 20.
Let's play the game now. What number is he thinking of from 1 to 20?
Well, I'll tell you, the first time I played this game, I guessed 73. So you guessed. I got that
You
wrong.
weren't listening.
Right.
There you go. First
You're
things
learning.
first. I was like, I should pay attention then, is what you're saying.
Right.
17.
No.
Darny Barney.
I'm gonna give you one more guess though. That's
Okay,
called
think
grace.
it.
I am thinking it. Hold on, let me think it harder.
Think it harder. 9.
Ooh, she was close.
Oh, 8.
See? She's
Okay,
close.
so she didn't get it, so
didn't get
she's
it.
the one that has to pick up the
So
flirt
now
card.
she would have to pick up a flirt card.
Okay.
And then she would have to do whatever the flirt card says because
okay.
she got it wrong.
Well, tell her what the flirt card says.
Flirt card is Secret handshake.
I was like, don't you dare. Not on TV.
PG-13. Secret handshake. We're gonna
don't
make
remember.
one right. No, we can make it up right on the spot. So let's do this. Then I'm like this. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do this.
There's so much
This.
happening here. Fist pump.
Pump.
That out.
There
No, I
you
don't
go.
like that. This one. Yeah.
Okay. So here.
Oh, we should connect at the end.
Okay. Here.
Yeah.
Here. Here.
Yeah, that will work.
There you go.
We have to
it's just a
prove on
little
that.
dirty, right? But it's just about being able to play. And what I've noticed is,
Yes.
that whole idea of you guessed 73 the first time. It's helping even couples know if they listen to each other, if they're paying attention, if they notice
Oh,
the
man.
little things.
It is.
Like, of course, it's in fun and you're playing,
And it's
but you're
lighthearted.
learning,
You're learning.
where you're weak or what needs growth or what needs to change. And
It's beautiful that way. And so there is that psychological thread in there, putting it intentionally for those reasons.
Yes.
But it's beautiful because it's all lighthearted.
Yeah.
And it's like how the couples can learn more about each other and have fun and have that experience, but in a lighthearted way.
And I think what's great about this game is that it meets you where you're at in your relationship. Sometimes
Yeah.
we're not in great places. And sometimes there are questions that you're asked that are like way too deep for where you're at in your relationship. So you could literally go through and answer whatever every question has an easy way out.
Yes.
So it's a way to kind of bridge that gap if you guys are really far away. It's a way to connect even deeper if you're already really close.
Yeah.
So it kind of meets you wherever you're at, and that's a good thing. When you return to the game, you'll probably be in a different place you were in your relationship previously, so it'll be a different experience.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So yeah, it's pretty
Yeah,
fun.
it's pretty awesome.
what has been your greatest joy in learning about each other through this challenge?
I'll tell you, for me, I don't think I've ever thought in my mind that I know Colleen completely.
Right.
And I think the reason why I said it is because it is a constant evolution of me knowing who I am as a person.
Right.
So if I'm continuing to get to know myself and I don't even know myself fully, I think it would be a bit maybe arrogant to say that I know someone else fully. And plus we change as well. So for me, it's always a asking her questions. She doesn't like it all the time, but it's the truth. It's this thing where I'm actually trying to get to know who she is, and more and more and more. So for me, that to me is pursuit of her still.
Right. The questions.
The questions, right? And in making sure that I ask them in a way that is, or do my best to ask them in a way that is, that lands softly.
Right.
When she was 20, maybe 15 years ago, she liked this type of wine.
Yeah.
But now she's grown a little bit and her
I
palate's
didn't
changed
even like
a bit.
wine at all. I know, I love it.
But now
He's learning.
Exactly.
He's learning.
But for me, that is, I think, a missed adventure that couples don't engage in because sometimes they make the assumption like, I already know you. I don't need it. What else is there to know about you? But that is a miss.
Or sometimes they actually take life too seriously.
Or that too. Yes, that too.
Right.
Take it too seriously. So that's what the play is for. And I'm gonna say this one last thing, but I think it's so important, especially as people of God, that we allow ourselves to be childlike in play.
Right. With each other.
With each other. Like,
Yeah.
yes, you have boundaries and things like that, but the reason I said it is because part of our freedom as believers is joy, is play.
That's right.
And if we're not walking in that playfulness, that joyfulness, how can we be who God has called us to be?
Yeah.
He wants us to laugh. It's just like our own children. We want to see them laugh and play
Yeah.
and jump and hop and skip. I believe God wants us to
that
be
for
the
us
same
too.
way,
Yeah.
especially in our our marriages, right? Yeah.
Well, how about you? You're the one who said you don't woo me, and now there's a whole game coming out of your. But how has that brought joy into your relationship?
I think it's twofold. One is through different heartaches in our relationship. It's been hard. We have very different communication styles. And so like he said, if he asked me a question, I'd be like, oh my gosh, he's going to
Another
interrogate me
one.
again. There's always one person in a relationship who's going to feel that way. Yeah. But when you're playing the game, it's just a game. So you're just answering the questions and you don't even know. And it's like, there's no pressure. There's like this freedom there. And it's just all the intentions are there. Even though we know your partner means the best for you.
Yeah.
Like your boo is there because they love you and they want to win as a team. But sometimes you forget that in marriage. It happens. And this game just kind of gives you that opportunity to just let down your guard and just play.
So whenever he's
just-
asking you a question, he just needs to come to you and say,
I read this card
from the card. Then just ask the
Exactly.
question. Then she won't be mad, and it'll all be good.
It'll all be good. There you go.
I always say that the joy of the Lord is my strength. Nehemiah 8, verse 10.
Yeah.
And so, or 10, verse 8. But my whole question to you is, how has the joy of the Lord been your strength as a couple in your marriage?
I'm gonna let you speak to that because I don't.
First,
you have
I would
something
say,
else. Yes.
I don't know that we would be married today if it wasn't for the Lord himself.
Right.
If we made a covenant to just ourselves,
Yeah.
there would not be 15 years. I guarantee you that much.
Yeah.
But it has been his assurance that there is always joy, and every time, like, his promises never come back void.
Yeah.
And I could honestly and wholeheartedly, like, it would be, there's no way 15 years ago I could ever say we'd be here.
Yeah.
It is absolutely 100% God's promise on our marriage that has gotten us here. And it's just honoring him and his laws and his goals and his will for our lives.
Yeah.
Because he wants the best for us. He wants, like, think about, like, the Song of Solomon. Like, think about, like, just passion, joy, happiness, all these amazing things.
Total fulfillment in and with each other.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, he created that for us to enjoy only in this context, you know? And just when you start living it and you start feeling that, oh my gosh, it's incredible. And it's just like a drop in the bucket of what he has for us. So if we could keep doing that, I think we're on the right track.
And it makes it a lot easier when you actually like the person.
Yeah, I'm glad, Levance, that you like Colleen
It
and that
makes it a lot
Colleen
easier.
likes
Right,
you.
it
Yes.
makes it a lot easier. Like, you may love someone, but you may not like them.
them, but-
And it's not that we've liked each other 100% all the time.
Yeah.
But the majority of the time, I can speak for myself and say I've liked my wife.
I like my wife.
I've liked her, right? So because I like her, I do want to get to know her.
Yes.
So, her and I, we'll go through our ups and we'll go through our downs. But for me, I always think about how great of a person she actually is.
Right. Yeah.
And how it is exciting for me to be with her. And it really is for me. So I'm the kind of person that, and this maybe rides just a little bit hard, like not just my wife, but other people out just in the world because of my personality. Like, I'm the person that's always trying to squeeze as much out as I can.
Yeah.
I'm like, I want to get as much. I want to see what's all there.
Yeah.
And so in our relationship, my thought process is, how great of a couple can we actually be? How great of a marriage can we actually have?
I love that.
But sometimes for me, I may push a little bit more than I should push. But I think about the scripture says, as iron sharpens iron, so does one man sharpen another. And sometimes sparks fly. And it's not intentional, it's just that me being a husband and me trying to get the best out of this experience. I'm not saying I do it the right way all the time.
Well,
but
you know what? None of us ever do it the right way, and sparks will always fly. But I like that idea of getting as much out of this as I possibly can.
Yeah.
That's the adventure in marriage, being able to say, what is the best marriage we can have? And part of that is learning to play, not taking yourselves or your spouses too seriously, and help yourself get to know each other. So I want to say thank you for joining us, for sharing a little bit about this. Where can people find you or find Woo Your Boo? Because I think a lot of marriages need what it is that you have to offer.
Absolutely. So make sure you follow us at Woo Eternal or at Woo Your Boo. That's both our social handles on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter/X. Facebook. So at Woo Eternal and at Woo Your Boo. And if you want to get the card game, you just go to our website, wooyourboo.com, card game. And that'll
Go to the
take you.
website, everybody.
wooyourboo.com.
Every marriage, every couple, every relationship needs what they have to offer. Thank you so much for
Yes.
joining us today.
Thank you so
and
much.
putting a little bit of joy into people's marriages.
Amen.
I'm very, very thankful for you today.
Thank you for
Thank you.
having
Thank
us.
you.
This has been
Thank you.
great.
Great.